Hey there, my name is Przemek, and this is the review of the new album by Lux Interna called New Wilderness Gospel. Well, actually, it is not the new album because it was out in May 25, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I should have recorded this review a few months ago, but well, it is what it is. Anyway, Lux Interna is a project led by Catherine and Joshua Genske, and New Wilderness Gospel is, if I'm counting correctly, their fifth album, and at the same time, the first one in 12 years. And despite that long break, they're still one of my favorite bands from broadly defined neo-dark folk scene. Although I have to admit the beginnings with the band weren't exactly smooth for me, because my first encounter with their music was their third album, released by Ice and Licht, the German label, and it was titled God is Not Dead for the Birds. And honestly, I tried many times to get into it, but no luck. It's a fairly standard neo-folk record, drawing more from the European tradition of the genre than the American one. But it always felt a bit dull to me. I could never quite connect with it. I never found that kind of common ground. Yeah, I also briefly checked out their earlier albums, but it was like more of the same to me. Technically and arrangement-wise, everything was solid, okay. We just weren't on the same wavelength, so to speak. But then came 2013 with the album There is Light in the Body, There is Blood in the Sun. It was released by Pesanta Urfolk. Everything changed completely. And funnily enough, it was kind of accidental because I wasn't even planning to listen to it, but I got a promo copy for a review, so duty comes first. And the moment I hit play button on my CD player, I was gone completely. Leaning into their own American roots turned out to be a perfect move. I mean, why play in the European style if you're not from there? Leave that to the musician from the old continent and do your own thing, from your own perspective. And on There's Light in the Body and There's Blood in the Sun, you can really hear the shift. There's a strong presence of dark Americana, some blues, and maybe even some gospel. But most importantly, and this is the key thing, there were actual hits, the real standouts. I don't believe anyone can stay, unmoved when hearing tracks like Tongues, Wounded Stag, or Seed for the first time. I loved that album really, and kept waiting for the next one, and kept waiting and kept waiting all the way until 2025, when New Wilderness Gospel was finally released via the esteemed German label Prophecy Productions. The album came out as a 2 CD edition. The first disc being the main album, or the regular album, and the second is more like a soundtrack to the accompanying book, which includes a novella, lyrics, and a set of Polaroid photos. That second disc is an interesting piece. It's a part ambient, part cinematic score, part post-rock, built on stretched out guitar textures, and over it all you have the Catherine's spoken voice reading fragments of the novella. I've seen the digital version of the book, and it's beautifully put together piece, really aesthetic with amazing photos that perfectly capture the spirit of provincial America. A night forest, a roadside motel somewhere off the beaten path, a church in the middle of nowhere. Definitely worth checking out. And for this main album, the song-based album, it's really great, really great. As they wrote on Bandcamp, with New Wilderness Gospel, Lux Interna evoke a fragmented narrative set against the desolate highways, shadowy Appalachian mountains, and bone-bleached deserts of an America at once raw and mythic. And yeah, it's hard not to think of the godfather of this kind of sound, David Eugene Edwards. I think his influence echoes here, but I would say that while there's light in the body, there's blood in the sun was closer to in spirit to 16 horsepower. New Wilderness Gospel feels more like a spiritual sibling to Wovenhand. I would even say the later albums by Wovenhand. For one, there's a lot more rock energy here, more bite, more rock instrumentation, and distorted guitars, and all that, especially in the first half of the album. Of course, that doesn't mean that they've abandoned the quieter acoustic side. Those tracks come through more in the latter part of the record, like the track "No Arrow" for that matter. But the Wovenhand comparison is also a bit personal to me, because I remember seeing Wovenhand live in Vienna, in Austria, a couple of years ago, and they sounded very specific, very rock oriented, but also drenched in this particular kind of reverb that gave the whole performance a mystical, almost out of this world character. I have no idea if this if this was accidental. Maybe it was the matter of the venue, or it was, or that was their idea to play that show like that. But I was really amazed by that show. Sorry, and at times on this album, this album, New Wilderness Gospel, Lux Interna achieve something quite similar. I would say they play in a kind of rock framework, but the music takes on this dreamy, oniric quality, and that effect is amplified by the fact that despite all the instrumentation, most, if not all, of the songs are driven by the melancholic violin passages, and I would even say that paradoxically, this is a more lyrical album than There is Light in the Body, There's Blood in the Sun, more elegiac even. It feels like an expression of longing for a rural America that no longer exists, or maybe still does, but hidden so deep that you can only reach it by roads that don't show up on maps or GPS. Kind of like in one of my favorite video games, Kentucky Route Zero, and maybe that mood is also why you won't find those straightforward, in-your-face hits here, like the ones I mentioned earlier from the previous album. But it's not a bad thing at all, because the more effort you put into listening to New Wilderness Gospel, the more it gives back, and it took me a few listens to really fall for it, but once it clicked, it didn't let go. It really didn't let go. Yeah, that would be everything for today. Lux Interna, New Wilderness Gospel. Another recommendation from my side, so listen to this one. Thanks for watching and see you soon.